Well, the blame game seems to be the sport of kings, or at least the feckless weasels that think of themselves as kings inside the buildings of power in Washington, D.C. Have you noticed how nobody, specifically politicians, ever stop to admit they're wrong? That they've not done a good job and that they can do better? No, you don't hear that. Whatever happened to the proclamation of Missouri Senator turned Vice President turned President Harry S. Truman? And the buck stops here. The real game anymore is passing the buck as fast as possible, looking to point fingers at as many people as possible. That's the way the game is played. The Democrats, for their part, have become pretty lazy about it. When in doubt, shout racism or blame Donald Trump, which to them has become the same thing. They don't care about the truth, facts, protecting America, or looking out for you, the folks. They care about protecting their gravy train and looking out for themselves. The idea of public service means giving away enough services paid for by somebody else like you to buy enough votes to punch yet another free ticket on that gravy train. When Nancy Pelosi and others refused to provide the 10,000 National Guard troops requested by then President Donald Trump on January the 6th, 2021, and things spiraled out of control, she, of course, blamed Trump. What else would you have her do? In fact, they were so hell-bent on blaming Trump, they assembled a hand-picked committee, rejected every Republican put up by Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, added two never-Trumpers who hated the president, and then went to work blaming him for everything they could think of. It worked. And with no witnesses, no defense, and no evidence, they were still able to ram through a second impeachment on President Trump that was no more sound than the first. And just like the first, it was laughed out of the Senate, but they thought they had scored the win. They had blamed Trump and convinced millions of Americans that he had incited an insurrection and a riot. He had not. Now, 44,000 hours of videotape that had been behind locked doors from that ugly melee on J6 have been released, only to Fox News and Tucker Carlson specifically, but released nonetheless. And the new video shows a lot of things that were ignored or manipulated by the J6 committee and all the bought and paid for members of Congress that rubber stamped whatever came along.